So, my name is Linda. One of the toughest things that I had to go through when I was healing a lot of my childhood trauma was learning to forgive. Now, initially, I kind of thought that if I could get my parents to apologize for whatever they did, get my mother to apologize or get my father to apologize. And for a while, I tried really hard to get that to happen. And even when they did apologize and showed like genuine gratitude, it wasn't enough for me. There was still this gaping hole that was inside me that it seemed like no apology could fix and or alleviate. And that's when I kind of discovered the biggest thing. I can't go back and fix what happened at 5. I can't go back and fix what happened at 6 and 7. I can't get those hugs that I didn't get. And I can't get those moments of comfort that I missed. There's nothing that my parents could do that could ever fix what has been done. And the bigger person that I really needed to forgive was me. One of the theories that's out there, they call it positive psychology. And I like this a lot. In positive psychology, the theory goes this way. You can't change the milk that's been spilt. It doesn't matter who spilt it. It doesn't matter what the expiration date was on the milk. It doesn't matter where it was spilt. It doesn't matter what time of the day it was spilt. And it doesn't matter if it was old or new, if it was cold or warm. It doesn't matter. And a lot of times when you go into treatment, what happens is they want to know all the little details, and all the little details doesn't change one thing. It doesn't change the milk on the floor. Sometimes the only way to change the past is just simply clean up the milk and clean up what has happened and learn to go forward. And in order for that to happen for me, I had to do a lot of forgiving, because somewhere inside myself at a very young age, I determined that if I was a better little girl, that wouldn't happen to me. If I was a perfect little girl, it wouldn't happen to me. If I didn't dress a certain way, it wouldn't happen to me. All those things I held against myself, because guess what? As a kid, no matter how I dressed, no matter what I said, no matter what I did, the adult in my life still had control over me. And I had to get to a point in my life where I recognized that. And then there was a much bigger thing that I had to understand, that I could spend my life trying so hard to get my mother or my father to be who they weren't to me. And someday they're not going to be there. And I'm not going to regret not getting that from them. I'm going to regret what I didn't give to them. My father died. And when he died, I didn't regret what he didn't give to me. I didn't regret the contributions he made or he didn't make in my life. What I regretted was the contributions I didn't make in his life. And so the much bigger picture, I had to get to a point where I could just let go. I could forgive myself, I could let go, and I could understand that for whatever reason, their own trauma, their own mental health, their own addiction, whatever was going on in their life, they did the very best they could with what they had. And although it wasn't enough for me, I had to learn to give myself what I needed. If I needed that reassurance, I had to give it to myself. If I needed that hug, I had to give it to myself. If I needed that support, I had to give it to myself. Once I learned to meet my own needs and to give back all the stuff that I didn't get, I started to heal, and I started to get past it. And it was a little bit of a learning curve for me, because initially I thought it had to come from around me. It didn't. It had to come from within me.